Well, y'all, Nicki Minaj is back on X, and she's coming for Jay-Z. So in a series of tweets, Nicki Minaj is claiming that Jay-Z owes her $100 to $200 million so far.
It started with a confession no one saw coming, the kind that could redraw the balance of power in hip-hop. When Nicki Minaj spoke about Jay-Z, she wasn't describing a business dispute or a creative disagreement. She claimed something much deeper, something personal. According to her, years ago, he tried to turn a private friendship into something physical. When she refused, her life and career began to unravel under a silent war. We've all witnessed public feuds in this industry, but this one feels different, colder. Because if even part of what she's saying is true, the consequences go far beyond two artists. They reach the core of how power and influence operate behind closed doors.
So she feels like blogs and online platforms don't touch what she's saying, and they don't cover all of her words fully because it's Jay-Z and Roc Nation.
Well, I'll tell you this, I have no idea about their business, but if someone owed me $200 million, then I would be in court, not on X, and I guarantee you if she ever took that to court, that would be a huge story.
The timeline makes this story impossible to ignore. In early 2021, Jay-Z finalized the sale of Tidal for more than $300 million. Back when the platform launched in 2015, Nicki Minaj was one of the original artists promised equity, a 3% stake meant to give musicians real ownership. But when the payout came, she says she got nothing, not a red penny. She later wrote, noting that she promoted the service harder than anyone except Beyonce. Industry accountants confirmed that several founding artists received millions from the sale, yet Nicki's name was missing from every list. At first, the claim sounded like another celebrity complaint, until things took a darker turn. By March 2024, a default judgment was entered against Nicki and her husband, Kenneth Petty, for $500,000 after a security guard in Germany accused Petty of assaulting him backstage. A month later, the man's lawyers filed papers to seize Nicki's Hidden Hills mansion, a $20 million property she had bought less than 2 years earlier. LA sheriffs confirmed the levy that September. The timing raised eyebrows across the industry. Just weeks earlier, Nicki had begun publicly calling out Jay-Z over the Tidal dispute. Suddenly, her home was under legal siege, her image dragged through tabloids, and a wave of negative coverage erupted from outlets tied to companies connected with Roc Nation. Coincidence or coordination? Insiders whisper that Jay-Z's camp wanted to remind her who really runs the table.
Apparently, Nicki Minaj has dragged Jay-Z to Philly. She blasts him for being evil and spiteful.
Nicki seemed to think so herself. On October 15, 2025, she announced she was canceling her upcoming album, posting directly to Jay-Z, "Hope you're happy now." That message detonated online. Within hours, fans noticed her Instagram account had vanished, only to return days later when she uploaded an AI-generated image of Jay-Z wearing a bright pink wig captioned, "I am your karma." To her followers, it was a digital middle finger. To critics, a meltdown. But to those who followed her career closely, it sounded like a warning. An artist declaring she'd rather burn the machine down than let it keep grinding her up. The machine didn't stay quiet for long. Charlemagne the God, a longtime Jay-Z ally through iHeartRadio, devoted a full segment on The Breakfast Club to label Nicki Donkey of the Day. His words hit hard. "Your energy is just stank and nasty," he said on air, adding that her public rants were a cry for help from a wounded ego. It sounded less like commentary, and more like a scripted diagnosis. Within minutes, clips flooded major platforms, amplifying the narrative that Nicki had lost control. What most people missed was the timing. The takedown came just 48 hours after she accused Jay-Z's inner circle of blocking her radio interviews. Former network employees have since claimed off the record that the segment was cleared directly through iHeart's upper management, a chain that leads straight to executives with ongoing business ties to Roc Nation.
Y'all really do not understand who I really am. Bring it, let's play. Y'all wanted attention, let's do it. Then she starts talking to the LAPD about something we have nothing to do with. And she's saying to Republic Records that they need to stand up for her any day now. Then she says, "You'll regret it." Now, I've been going down the rabbit hole.
Here? Why did this happen?
Then came the home invasion calls. 4 separate swatting incidents, each one sending armed officers to Nicki's property while her toddler was inside. The LAPD confirmed the reports but has yet to identify any suspects. Nicki publicly demanded that authorities trace the calls, alleging they were intimidation tactics meant to scare her into silence. She tagged both Republic Records and Jay-Z's associates in her posts. insisting she had evidence of inside coordination. No one from Roc Nation commented, but the attack stopped as suddenly as they began. Either way, the message was clear. She could be reached even in her own home.
Nicki Minaj, she went on another Twitter rant and she still got Jay-Z and Roc Nation in every tweet. She be wilding on them. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never seen nobody come at Jay-Z this hard.
When you trace the pattern, it starts to look less like chaos and more like a campaign of isolation. First came the financial squeeze, the missing title money, the legal levies, the sudden headlines about debt. Then came the public humiliation, Charlamagne's monologue, Stephen A. Smith questioning her gratitude toward Jay-Z, and a chorus of coordinated talking points echoing across the media. Finally, the psychological pressure, disappearing social accounts, AI mockery, and those late-night police raids. Each incident alone could be dismissed, but together, they form a pattern too precise to ignore. As one former label executive told us, when a woman in this business refuses the wrong man, they don't just cancel her, they erase her.
Over and people, you know what I'm saying?
Kendrick Lamar is the hottest out right
He is,
now.
though. Kendrick hot.
They're going to make their money.
What makes this situation even darker is how quickly other industry figures seem to fall in line. Gucci Mane's wife, Keishia Kawar, appeared on The Breakfast Club praising her husband's recovery and mental health. Within hours, Nicki accused her of being there to keep Gucci sedated, a phrase that sounded paranoid until she followed it by naming Charlamagne again, calling him Jay-Z's friend and business associate using iHeartRadio for a disgusting ploy against innocent families. It read like a map of power. The same radio networks, the same personalities, the same timing. Whether you believe her or not, the consistency is hard to dismiss. Meanwhile, Jay-Z remained publicly silent. Not a single direct response, not even through Roc Nation's PR team. Instead, surrogates filled the space, journalists framing Nicki's behavior as erratic, pundits painting her as self-destructive. When she questioned why Lil Wayne was denied the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show, accusing Jay-Z of letting ego punish greatness, she was mocked for inserting herself into someone else's fight. But behind that outburst was something older: loyalty. Wayne was the mentor who first signed her. Seeing him snubbed in his own city looked, to her, like the same quiet revenge she'd been warning about. By late October, the tension had reached a breaking point. Her mansion was still under threat of forced sale, court filings piling up just as she prepared to relaunch her brand under the Billionaire Barbie slogan. Then, almost on cue, news stories surfaced about her husband's probation and past convictions, recycled across every major entertainment site within hours. None of the outlets offered new information. They simply revived old details under fresh headlines. Media analysts we spoke with described it as a refresh cycle, a common tactic used to bury current news beneath recycled controversy. And at the top of that cycle sat names once again tied to Roc Nation's content network.
So tell me about your relationship with Beyonce, because she's on a track here.
You know, everybody asks me that.
All of it circles back to one chilling question. If Nicki's claims are true, that a private rejection led to a professional vendetta, what else might be hidden beneath the surface of hip-hop's biggest empire? She's hinted that lawyers, broadcasters, and even law enforcement may be caught within an orbit of influence designed to protect one man's reputation. We're not saying it's proven, but the evidence, the timing, and the silence all speak louder than any denial ever could. Because if Jay-Z could allegedly mobilize legal teams, radio personalities, and police operations to punish a woman for saying no, then we have to ask, who else has been silenced? And who's next? Yet beneath that question lies another, one far more dangerous. What Nicki revealed next wasn't just about revenge. It pointed to a network so powerful that even Beyonce might be caught in the middle. The $500,000 judgment against Nicki Minaj was never just a courtroom formality. It landed like a financial guillotine, cutting through her leverage at the very moment she was trying to rebuild control over her brand. The creditor, Thomas Biden Miller, claimed unpaid damages from a 2019 incident involving a security guard overseas. But what made it unsettling was how efficiently the case moved once Nicki began calling out Jay-Z. Within months of her social media outbursts, a levy appeared on her $20 million Hidden Hills mansion. To the average fan, it looked like another celebrity facing legal trouble. But to those tracing the pattern, it looked like pressure, a warning to anyone daring to cross one of the most powerful networks in entertainment. The seizure notice was more than just paperwork. It was a message, about control, stability, and obedience.
I hope it's worth losing everything, including your account, because Nicki Minaj has been on X saying that the blogs and online creators don't cover her and Jay-Z's back and forth the same way as they do everything else.
Well, it's not a back and forth.
It's definitely not a back and forth. I was about to, it's just been a forth.
That same pattern leads straight back to Tidal, the streaming company Jay-Z sold in 2021 for roughly $302 million. Nicki has long claimed that her stake, valued somewhere between $100 and $200 million, disappeared without explanation. On paper, every founding artist was supposed to receive equity and future payouts. Yet insiders recall that her name was suddenly missing from the closing documents. Was that just business, or punishment for saying no? The lack of answers speaks louder than any denial. When she demanded transparency, the silence from Roc Nation and Block Inc. stretched on for years. And just when she reignited the topic online this fall, her legal troubles flared up again. To those watching closely, it felt like two fronts of the same war, financial retaliation disguised as coincidence.
Yeah, so
What that got to do with Sister Minaj?
because there's a lot of fans online having a conversation right now following our interview if whether or not Kenneth, who's Nicki Minaj's husband, should be doing the same for Nicki Minaj, because
Absolutely.
she's online and there's a lot of things that she's saying and
But that
different things
wasn't
that
the
are
reason
happening.
she shot at Charlamagne, was it?
No, forget me. Why did she come at Keisha? I don't understand. Like, what did anything Keisha have to say?
Behind the corporate walls, another name keeps surfacing: Desiree Perez, the chief executive of Roc Nation, whose presidential pardon once made headlines. Sources familiar with label negotiations claim Perez was the one quietly urging major platforms to minimize risk around Nicki, subtly discouraging collaborations and appearances. Inside Republic Records, Nicki's label home, tensions reportedly split the executive team in two. Those sympathetic to her warned that internal audits began soon after she went public about the missing title money. Around that same time came the mysterious swatting calls, 4 separate incidents that sent armed officers to her home. There's no proven link, but the pattern of intimidation is chilling. Financial audits, police visits, disappearing media accounts, all tactics that strip away credibility before a person can even speak. Then came the private leaks. Screenshots of text messages between Nicki's team and unnamed industry fixers began circulating on blogs known for Roc Nation exclusives. Some of the messages portrayed her as unstable. Others suggested she owed unpaid advances. None were verified, but the optics alone were enough to damage her reputation. A former road manager put it bluntly: "It's not about truth, it's about exhaustion. They make you too tired to keep fighting." For Nicki, each new headline seemed to confirm that exhaustion was the goal. Every public dispute, every social media storm became more evidence for those who wanted her silenced.
She is, I mean, just her name alone just defines greatness, right? You know, like just her.
Amid the chaos, one name remained untouched: Beyonce. Nicki's cryptic remark that Beyonce knew set off a chain reaction of speculation. If Jay-Z really did make an advance toward Nicki years ago, what did Beyonce know, and when? Her silence since the revelations has spoken volumes. Publicly, she's remained the image of composure. But privately, insiders say her team has been scrambling to contain the fallout, contacting radio programmers, producers, and stylists, urging them to steer clear of the topic. According to one longtime associate, they can't afford for this to look like betrayal inside the royal family of music. If Nicki's claim holds any weight, Beyonce's quiet isn't just discretion, it's survival. The stakes go far beyond gossip. For years, Jay-Z and Beyonce have been treated as an untouchable unit, a couple who transformed fame into corporate power. But if Nicki's account exposes cracks in that empire, it threatens the mythology itself. Multiple publicists have hinted that non-disclosure agreements were issued to keep former Roc Nation contractors silent about private disputes involving female artists. Word from several studios suggests legal teams have been combing through old contracts, tightening loyalty clauses to ensure absolute silence. No one wants to be the next headline. It feels less like reputation management and more like containment.
I feel like I am absorbing advice from her and learning from her and stuff. And she'll tell me learn from my mistake.
Meanwhile, Nicki keeps using social media as her last weapon. After posting that eerie AI image of Jay-Z in a pink wig captioned, "I am your karma," she followed with a string of posts accusing the music establishment of blocking her from interviews and festivals. She's dared her label to defend her, hinted at evidence she's saving for court, and warned that the same business managers who stole from me are still working for them. Whether these claims ever lead to legal action remains uncertain, but they've already transformed her into something larger than an artist in conflict. She's become a symbol of what happens when an insider refuses to obey unspoken rules. Behind the curtain, fear is spreading. Smaller artists whisper about sudden cancellations after praising Nicki online. Podcasters say they've received quiet calls from advertisers reminding them which topics are off limits. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Beyoncé's team reportedly keeps a list of outlets to monitor for emerging narratives. It's the kind of coordination that only happens when an empire feels a tremor under its feet. The more Nicki speaks, the tighter the silence grows around her. The psychological layer of this story is perhaps the most unsettling part. Every time Nicki lashes out online, every rant, every deletion, every cryptic post, it's treated as entertainment. But behind the chaos lies a pattern too precise to ignore. Each outburst is followed by a media storm, then by an official setback, a lawsuit, a cancellation, a hit to her reputation. It's as if the system expects her to break. And when she finally does, it uses that reaction as proof that she's unstable. What looks like a breakdown might actually be the visible scar of prolonged isolation and manipulation.
The National Football League announced that West Coast rapper Kendrick Lamar will headline the Super Bowl 59 halftime show in New Orleans.
Inside the industry, whispers are getting louder about how Nicki's volatility is being weaponized. Executives who once courted her now point to unpredictability clauses. Insurance providers flag her as a liability. Even the publicists who once defended her are quietly stepping back. The narrative of madness has become a tool, a convenient way to dismiss her accusations and recast her pain as hysteria. It's a playbook we've seen before, where a powerful woman's exhaustion is reframed as proof of her guilt. And the cruelest irony, the more she fights back, the more that image sticks. If Nicki's version of events is even partly true, then this isn't about one celebrity's unraveling. It's about an industry that enforces loyalty through fear and dismantles those who refuse to obey. The whispers, the headlines, the ridicule, they form a kind of soft censorship, one that makes defiance look like self-destruction. And that's the scariest part. Because if Nicki Minaj, and with her millions, her influence, her global reach, can be erased this easily, what chance does anyone else have? Strip away the celebrity gloss, and what's left is a story about power, ownership, and control. Nicki may be fighting to keep her home, her money, and her name, but what she's really fighting for is the right to exist outside the system that built her. If her story holds even a sliver of truth, then we're witnessing one of the most calculated acts of retaliation in modern music history. A machine built to punish dissent and bury the evidence afterward. And that leaves one question no one dares to answer. If this could happen to Nicki Minaj, how many others has it already happened to, without us ever noticing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over. Until next time, stay curious, stay watching, and remember, in a world run by quiet power, truth is the one thing they can't fully control.